Hey, what is up, Etsy sellers? Seth here from Brand Expand. In this video, I'm going to show you how to optimize your keywords in your product listings so you can get it ready for a product launch on Brand Expand. So this video is the first in a series of videos that we're doing for an Etsy case study. So we're literally going to be taking a product we created on Etsy on a brand new store, a brand new listing, optimizing the listing to include all of your most relevant keywords, and then taking you through the process of using the Brand Expand software to drive traffic to your listings and then subsequently follow up for honest and compliant review requests so we can get social proof on the store and really help expedite the sales of this product and the sales of this store overall. Okay, so in this listing, we are going to look up all of the most relevant keywords. This is the listing here. I've already created the listing, but I'm going to show you what I did to put in all of the best keywords. Okay, so by this time, you should have found your product, created your brand. You should have a listing up on Etsy. And most of you are going to be struggling with sales because you don't have a lot of social proof. Maybe you don't have an optimized listing, or for whatever reason, you're not getting a lot of traffic to your store. Okay, that's our primary target demographic of sellers, are those that are kind of struggling to get those first initial sales, or perhaps your product has lost sales momentum over the past couple of months and you want to boost up those sales. You would want to come to Brand Expand to help facilitate additional sales and to really get that listing in front of more organic customers. Okay, the first step, again, is optimizing your listing. We have to have a really good listing with high quality, relevant keywords before we can get started with this launch process. Okay, so here's the listing that we created. Okay, the very first step that you want to do is identify your product. This can work for any product. It doesn't have to be this necklace here. This is for a boy's birthday. It's a chain necklace for a young man's birthday. Okay, it can apply to any product that you have. The research is the same. Of course, you would just change the way that you do that, change the competitors that you look up, etc. So the first thing that we want to do is really find a listing that is most like ours. Okay, and you can start on Etsy, but we're going to transition over to Amazon. And the reason why we're going to Amazon is because the tool that we use, which is a Helium 10 tool, we are a trusted partner with Helium 10, so we use all of their tools. They're incredible. Little shout out to them. I recommend using them for keyword research. They have a bunch of tools aside from keyword research that are excellent and help you optimize your listing, not just on Amazon, but other platforms as well. Okay, so we're going to be using their tool, which is why I have that open here. Okay, so let's get started. Let's find the listing that's most relevant to our product. So what we want to do is really type in our primary keyword phrase, right? And for this, it's Cuban chain necklace. That's really what this product is. That's what they identify it as. So we're going to go Cuban chain necklace. And so the next step is to find one that is for a son, right, on his birthday, right? And this seems to be a really good one. It seems to be very similar to the one that I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Now I want to take this title here, and what I want to do is find something on Amazon that's almost identical to this, right? So you're just going to type the title in there, and it's going to pull up. If that listing's on Amazon, it will likely pull up that listing. Otherwise, it will show other listings that have those keywords in them. Okay, now we want to find a listing that has the most reviews, because what we want is the most keyword data, and that usually comes from the listing on Amazon that has the most traffic. Okay, so let's go ahead and search here. I'm going to pause this really quick to find the listing. Okay, so this listing looks to have the most reviews and the most similar. So that's the one I'm going to choose to do my keyword research, because again, it likely has the most traffic and keyword data. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is just grab this ASIN here, and I'm going to go into Helium 10 and go under a tool called Cerebro. And this will do what's called a reverse ASIN lookup on that product and pull all of the relevant keywords. Okay, now that we have all the relevant keywords, what we want to do is export this into an Excel sheet and then find our top 20 keywords, okay? The way that you find the top 20 most relevant keywords is pretty simple. Look at your product, look at your competitor, and make sure the keywords are highly relevant to your product, the keyword phrases, right? So for example, son necklace from mom. That's highly relevant. So that will probably be one of our top 20 keywords. Okay, so I'm going to pause this. I'm going to export it to Excel. I'm going to move some data around, and I'm going to come up with our top 20 keywords. Okay, so I've done some rearranging and some exporting of this Excel spreadsheet, and I found our top 20 keywords. Okay, again, these were all keywords I chose because they were highly relevant to the listing, to my competitors' listings, etc. So you're going to want to find those that are most relevant and pull them out. I usually do top 20 because you don't really need to do more, right? If you find your top 20, it's really going to consist of, all, if not, about 95% of all of your most relevant keywords. Okay, so here we have our top 20 keywords. The next thing we're going to do, and by the way, you want to keep these two columns here, the search volume and the CPR, and I'll get to that in our next video of this series, the reason why we want to keep those two columns. Okay, so I want to take this and I want to copy this. And I want to go to a tool in Helium 10 called Frankenstein. This is an excellent tool for optimizing your listing, right? So we're going to do this, and then we're going to go ahead and process that. And it really pulls out only a few keywords, right? These are the only keywords that are in all of this, okay? Because there's a lot of repetition. Okay, so these are the keywords that we want to include ideally in our product title or somewhere in our listing description or in the search terms in the back end of the listing. Okay, we just want these keywords somewhere. All right, so what we're going to do is actually use another tool. I believe it's this listing optimizer here. And this just helps us put those keywords in. And then we'll start with the title here and then kind of go from there. So the title that we chose, right, let's go ahead and apply this. And now it's going to show you all the keywords. And what you'll see is as we type in the title of this product, these keywords are going to disappear. So it's really helpful for creating and optimizing your title. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this because this is the title that we created. Okay, you can see that we've used everything but gifts, okay, in the title. The title should read relatively well. You don't keyword stuff and create something that doesn't read well. Okay, this is a little bit kind of on the edge of not reading well, but it still reads okay. And it's going to help the Etsy search algorithm identify your product as one of the most relevant products whenever a customer searches for any of those keywords that we mentioned, any of those 20 keywords, right? So Cuban chain necklace, birthday gift to son from mom or dad, men's jewelry, mother, father, men necklaces and chains, okay? It's not the best, most cohesive title, but it gets the job done, right? I recommend trying to create the most cohesive title as you can with the keywords you have. And of course, you have to get a little creative because you can't put all of your keywords in here and make it perfectly cohesive, at least not normally. So you just want to make it as legible as possible. Okay, so now that we have the title optimized, what we want to do is we want to go back to Cerebro and export all of those keywords and plug those into Scribbles, which is the Helium 10 processor. Okay, the reason why we want to do that is because now we want to find all of the relevant keywords, not just the top 20. Okay, you want your top keywords in the title, and now you want any relevant keyword in your description or your backend search terms. Okay, so I went ahead and exported all of that, and I brought it in here you can see all of the relevant search terms, and there are a few hundred of them. There are going to be quite a few. And I just deleted out anything with a search volume of 0. Because to me, if it has 0 search volume, there's not enough data there to really be worth having in our listing, right? Okay, and then I took all of these keywords, I copied them, and I put them in Scribbles. And there are a lot of keywords here, but what Scribbles does is it prioritizes them based on the ones with the highest search term. So you want to start from the top and kind of move your way down. And then anything with black, just don't even worry about it. At least I don't. Okay. And so we have our title here, and we can see that we already hit on all of these top search terms, which is awesome. Right. And now what we want to do, you don't have to worry about bullets because this is Etsy, but we're going to go down to the description here. And I've already created our description, but I'm going to paste it in here to show you, we're going to take away a couple more of these keywords. And then we're going to include the rest in a different area in this Etsy listing. Okay, so we're going to paste this in there. And you can see that a couple more of these got crossed off. Okay. And to figure out how to create this, your description shouldn't necessarily be keyword stuffing. This should really tell your target audience what you're selling, right? All the specifics, the product specs, right? Give them all the information they need to know to make an educated purchase. Don't necessarily try to keyword stuff, but if you can put your keywords in there, certainly do that. But this needs to be more educational. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, so we still have a lot of keywords here that we want to include. And so what we're going to do is we are going to include them into the search terms here. Okay, and if we go back to this Etsy listing, we can see that they offer an area to do this. Let me find it here really quick. Okay, so in this section we have tags. So we can add up to 13 tags so the product can get found. So this is where you really want to add additional keywords. And you can also put keywords in the material, so keep that in mind. So if something could be in the material section, like I saw gold in there, we might want to put it in here. Okay, so we're going to go back and find some tags, and I'm going to pause it and go back and forth here. Again, I don't want to extend this video too long, so I'm doing a little bit of pausing and going back and forth, but you can fill in the gaps. Okay, so I went ahead and chose 13 of the most relevant tags or keywords that were not in my title, right? And then I took some of those keywords and I put them into materials because they could kind of be considered materials, right? And if you add all those keywords into the Scribbles tool that we're using, you can see that now we have a lot of the most relevant keywords either in our title, in our description, or in our backend search terms, right? And you can see what's crossed off here. There are some things that I didn't do, like dog. I imagine dog tag is what it's referring to. They're not dog tags, so that's not relevant. Small, it's not really small. Women doesn't apply to, daughter doesn't apply to, etc. So I left some things out that weren't relevant to the product just to have the best possible keywords. Okay, so that's it. Now we have a great listing. We have all of our most relevant keywords. We have a good listing that is cohesive, that makes sense. We have great images here. I didn't really dive into the images much, but you have to have high quality images. If you don't, find a service that can create these high quality images for you. Get those keywords into your listing. And then the next thing that we can do is do a product launch, which will be the next video in this series. Okay, thanks so much for watching, and hopefully this helps.